Hello, everyone, and on behalf of the All-Star Football Officials Association Training Committee, I'd like to welcome you to our first training video for the 2019 season. At this point, we've worked a few weeks worth of games, and within those games, we've had a few plays that have come to our attention that we'd like to comment on and share with you guys so that we can help everyone improve. These plays hit on a couple different topics, including communication, mechanics, penalty enforcement. So hopefully there's a little bit of something in here for everyone. Hopefully you can include them in your pregame discussions as well. And so without further ado, let's take a look at these plays. All right, the first play we want to look at here, there's a couple aspects to it, but what it really boils down to is communication and game awareness. So as we let this play out, you'll see we've got 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. So we'll let it go here. Again, look, 1st and 10 at 43, a little fake handoff. Here comes quarterback running around. Got a pretty obvious hold right there. Good call. We get 2 flags on it. So here we come down. We know we're stopping the clock for first down, but we're also stopping it because we got a penalty. But as you can see on the far side, we've got a problem because it looks like we're bringing the chains with us. So we're missing the penalty, but the chains are on their way down. And I'll stop it right here. But you know, if we've had a good pregame discussion, no big deal, right? We've got, especially at a big school, we've got 4 guys over there. We've got 1 guy, hopefully just with 2 clips. That's all his job is. So shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? We'll go back. We'll enforce the penalty. We'll set the chains back up. We'll get the down box right and all that. So again, a good pregame discussion with your chain clip guys and really your whole chain crew. Tell them, hey, look, don't take off on me until I call you, but if you see a flag, you hear some choppy whistles or whatever, hey, just stop. Make it a lot easier on yourself. But again, boils down to kind of pregame discussion with those guys. Make sure they have game awareness, kind of same as us. So we'll let it play out here a little bit. But as you'll be able to see here in a second, we're gonna get right there. We're good. We got somebody on the spot of the foul, so we know we're going to go from there. So 10 yards from there, we'll replay first down, right? No big deal. But as we go back and enforce everything, matter of fact, let me pause and skip ahead here to the next play. So we enforce it. There's, as you can see, we go back here. We have a little bit of discussion. We've got 2 on the down box, right? And we've got 2. We're talking about that. We're getting flipped over to 1. I can tell you right now, the discussion going on is whether or not we have the chain set up in the right spot. And as you can see, we don't. We were 1st and 10 at 43, and now we're 1st and, after the penalty, we're 1st and about 8 at the 38. So we've got a problem. And the biggest issue here is that we don't get it right. So we get the first down flipped over. I know there was some discussion. We talked. They say, yeah, we got the clip in the right spot. But as it turns out, we didn't. A couple things, too, we could have used as some clues. I know the board still had 1st and 10 at the 43. The scoreboard did, showing that it was 1st and 10 at the 43. Could have used that. But we kind of got in a rush. You see, we're still talking about it, but the players are there. We get in a rush, think we got it right. But we probably should have gone with our gut feeling. We had somebody out there thinking it wasn't right, but we kind of moved on. So, again, communicate. Again, pregame with your chain crew to prevent it, but also in-game, let's make sure if we've got a situation, take the time. It may take a few extra seconds or a minute or whatever, but let's make sure we use every available resource to get this right. Again, if this is a first quarter game, maybe no big deal, but it could have a pretty good bearing if this is, 3rd or 4th down or something like that. It changes the play call. So it may not seem like much, but it really is. So again, please be aware of the game, aware of down and distance and all that at every time we snap the ball, so we can avoid these kind of mistakes. All right, our next play, obviously from the same game. Kind of funny, we're on the 43 again, going the other way. I swear we had some other plays from different yard lines, but as we go forward, you'll see, I want to talk about mechanics a little bit. Just a reminder, we got head linesman, line judge on the line. Remember, line judge holds that line until the ball's passed, right? So Headlines has a little bit more liberty, but we'll let this play out. You'll see. All right, look good. Quarterback scrambles, and throws a forward pass, and is quite obviously passes. So we're good. We still have the line judge holding strong there at the 43s, right at the line of scrimmage. Headlines has gone a little bit, but that's okay. No big deal. We'll back this up and see if we can hit this exactly where he let go of the ball. So right there. So he's at least a yard past, and call it 2. So for, again, 43 was the line of scrimmage. Knows the ball was on the yard line. So again, the rule, just remember the rule says that, doesn't tell you what it has to be illegal. It just tells you to be a legal forward pass, he has to have both feet either in or behind the neutral zone when he releases. All right, so all we worry about is feet. So here, quite obviously, he released it. He has, obviously not both feet back behind it, but he's got both feet past the 43-yard line. So clearly this is a illegal forward pass. So again, don't chunk your flag in the air. We need a spot here for an illegal forward pass. So you see, we let it play out. Yeah, no big deal. We do get a flag on this, by the way. Goes for a touchdown. So very important, very important. I'm sure we're getting plenty of help from the visitor sideline over there, letting us know that he was passed. But again, as we bring it back, again, this is just a good discussion. Hold the line of scrimmage, and this is exactly why. So again, he's 2 yards past. We got a flag on the ground. And as far as enforcement goes, don't forget, we'll get the flag at the spot of the foul. We'll back them up 5 yards from that spot, and they're going to lose a down. So please, very important when we have illegal forward pass, don't forget the loss of down aspect. Looks like it was about 2nd and 12, about 2 yards past. So we should be 3rd and, I don't know, about 15 or so when we replay this down. But again, just a good discussion of why we need to hold tight at that line of scrimmage until that ball is passed, or runner's passed, whatever it is. So again, good job, guys. All right, here's another play for line of scrimmage officials. I want you to keep a few things in mind here. One is the mechanic. Remember, Georgia High School changed the mechanic this year. They just want the line judge to rule on forward or backwards passes back here behind the line of scrimmage. So remember that going into here. We'll have a little bit of discussion as it plays through, but just keep that in mind as you're watching this, and we will let it play out. So right here, you got a pass quite clearly backwards behind the line of scrimmage. Ball's going forwards. We let it play out, and then all of a sudden, looks like we've got a whistle somewhere in there. So again, just keep that in mind. I'll slow it down this time, hopefully make it a little bit easier to follow. So right here, he throws about 8. It's going to be touched, obviously clearly backwards. I don't know, 6, 7-ish. Anyway, we got a pretty big hit. Looks clean. We got a pretty big hit. But again, guy doesn't catch it, so we've got to pass back behind the line of scrimmage. And maybe what gets tricky here is you've got the ball. After everything happens, now the ball's rolling forward. So I can see where maybe if you're kind of not really paying attention, and all of a sudden you're looking down, you saw a pass go over there that's rolling forward. So you're thinking that's an incomplete forward pass. But in this case, video shows quite clearly that it was backwards. The head linesman here actually does a pretty good job. To be totally honest, he stays calm, he stays patient. Got a lot going on right in front of him. He doesn't start chopping his feet and start running one way or the other. He just kind of lets it play out right in front of him. And again, the mechanic, it would be real easy last year. He's punching it back. Everybody over there seeing it may be pretty obvious. Now, going forward, whether or not what mechanic we decide to use, or Georgia High School changes it, because we've had a little trouble with it this year, I'm not sure. But again, in this case, we had backward behind the line of scrimmage, so should be live. As you see everything play out, this would have been pretty easy. That's picked up. Defense could have easily picked that up and taken it in for 6 points. So potential here that we caused, we took points off the board for one team. But either way, I don't know whether we ruled this forward pass from the other side, but point being, we got to have our head on a swivel, and we got to be ready to go. Line of scrimmage officials, we got to anticipate plays like this and do the best we can to make the correct ruling here. This is stuff, again, on the line of scrimmage, we've got to get these right. So again, anticipated when you saw it going that way. I know it got funny, started bouncing around, but punch it back, hold it there, lay off the whistle. Let's let it play out, unless we're 100% positive it was forward and we need to kill it. So, again, we did kind of what we could here to get by, but let's make sure that we're doing everything we can to get these plays right. All right, with this play right here, we're going to mainly talk about mechanics. So to kind of set up this play right here, we'll see a pass. It's going to be out towards the near sideline, really close to the sideline. We're going to have a call for what I believe is pass interference. Not sure about the call. You can't really see it all that well, but either way, we get a flag. So once you really check out our mechanics on the play, how we get the flag down, how we rule on the play and all that. So we'll let this play out. Everything else is good here. You see we'll get a pass sideline. We get a flag down. We've got maybe a catch, no catch. We've got no signal, but let me back this up and go through it. No, stop it. We can talk about a few things. So, okay, pass to the sideline. So we need to be heads up here. We're getting really close. Let's really eye in on the sideline, the receivers here. Catch, no catch, and see what we got going on. Not only is it near the sideline, but he's going to have to get his hands up under it. It's going to be close to the ground and all that. So we let it play out. Looks like he's out of bounds by the time he catches it. But really, you'll see here we've got the deep official. He's going to get his flag on the ground, which is fine. Again, I can't really talk about the penalty you couldn't really see it as we went through there. But again, we get a flag on the ground. A couple things we should be thinking about right here. So we do get the flag, but we need to be communicating with our wing guys. Do we have a catch? Do we not have a catch? We need something. We need to signal something, either catch, no catch, stop the clock, talk about it, whatever needs to happen. But we need something. We can't just leave them guessing out there. So as you see all this kind of play out, we just got a flag. We're grabbing a ball, stuff like that. But we still haven't signaled, at least from the deep guys, whether we've got a catch, no catch, whatever we've got. So again, it's all about slowing the game down, letting the game come to you. So we should have been back there on the pylon. Can't really tell whether we were there or not, but we should be back there on the pylon. That's good. We didn't get beat, so we got everything in front of us. But if you're going to get a flag, that's fine. Get the flag out there at the spot, and then just officiate the play. Remember what you got, but officiate the play. So when all that's happening over there at the sideline, again, remember, catch, no catch, incomplete, whatever it is. If y'all need to come in and have a discussion, that's fine, but we need to give them something. We don't need to be worried about the ball or any of that other stuff, because none of it matters if we don't get the play right anyway, which is catch, no catch. So again, just going through, slow down, take your time, that's fine, get the flag out there, but let's make sure above everything else that we give good, crisp signals, have good mechanics, discussion if we need to, and let's try and get these right and not look quite so sloppy doing it. All right, so this play here, we're going to talk about mechanics again, especially as it pertains to the goal line. So, whether you're a deep guy, you're line guy, you're responsible for the goal line, you're a referee that's in reverse mechanics, whatever it is, remember, if you are responsible for that goal line, do everything you can to be at that goal line before an offensive player gets there. So if you're responsible for it, make sure you are there when you're supposed to be there. And you'll see as this plays out why that is important. Pass over the middle, there we go. He catches it in the sideline. It gets about the 2 fumbles, maybe. I'm not sure, can't tell. We'll go through it here again. We'll try and back it up to where we back it up about right here. So as you can see here, it gets to the 5. The deep official, we should be at the goal line by now, but we're trailing the play. Got a little showboating going on. He's got that arm up, got the ball out. We've got a defender that's bearing down. So, I mean, you can tell from right here we're going to have some issues. So plays out. Point being, we should be at the goal line. If we're at the goal line, man, this hopefully becomes a lot easier to roll on as it comes out. You know, he gets hit here. Is he in? Is he not in? Is the ball of his hand? Is it across? I'm not sure. It's hard to tell from here. But if we have an official standing right there on the goal line, boy, it'd be real easy. Because at this point, all we're doing is guessing. If we're trailing the play like this, all we can do is guess. And of course, the way things go, fumble, no fumble, whatever, the defense gets on it. So if we roll to fumble, we've got a touchback here, and we're taking points off the board. If we roll a touchdown, obviously we're giving one team point if it's a fumble that they don't deserve. So point being, if you are responsible for the goal line, this is a classic example of why you need to be there. Don't guess. Make sure that runner, our offensive player, whatever it is, when he crosses that goal line, is in possession of it. We're sure of that. Then we award him a touchdown. But again, whatever the reason, whether you're a deep guy, you're a wing guy in reverse mechanics, or we're goal line mechanics because we're inside the 7 or whatever, just a good example of why it is very important that if you're responsible for the goal line, be there so that we can make a good ruling on it, and we're not behind it kind of guessing. Again, very important in this ball game. Had a lot of bearing on it, so let's make sure we're there doing what we need to do to get plays like this right. All right, so here's another good example of why it is important to get to the goal line. So the last example we looked at, I know it was a pretty long play, but we were behind it. We had a runner potentially fumble in the field of play and go into the end zone. The defense recovered. This play, sort of similar and a lot easier. Obviously, we're at the 2-yard line, so head lineman, line judge just take 2 quick little shuffle steps and we're at the goal line. But it is still a good example of why it is important to get there. So we'll let this play out. We'll let it play full speed first. Quarterback runs over that way. Again, we're at the goal line. He goes up, fumbles, and what it looks like anyway. So we're all indications we've got a fumble out of the back of the end zone. We got some discussion here. We're talking about it. We weren't too quick to do anything. Good job talking about it. So there we go. Signal right there that we've got a touchback. And again, let me back it up and we'll slow it down. But either way, regardless of what we rule right here, touchdown, touchback, whatever it is, good job of being there. And at least this time we're not guessing, right? We talk about it for a little bit and we make what I believe to be the correct decision right here. So a lot involved. We've got deep guy throwing a flag for a hold too. So at this point you've got quarterback's reaching, doesn't look like he's there. Takes a hit there. Can't really see that all that well. Takes a hit there, takes another one there. Can't tell whether he's across or not. Looks like it's out. He definitely hadn't demonstrated he's got control going across the goal line. So, again, good job. Headlines when we're back. That ball's out. Bam. We're back across. It goes over the end line, so we've got a touchback. The only other thing I would say here is if we do roll to fumble, let's get a beanbag on the ground. That way, coach can't say we're guessing or whatever. If we get a beanbag on the ground, for sure we indicate that we've got a fumble. So just a good mechanic. It looks a lot better. It's a lot easier to talk a coach into it if we do have a beanbag on the ground. But just want to show you a good example and another reason why it's important to be there. We're not guessing at it. And I believe we make a really good call here. So good job. All right, this play here, one want you to watch I believe it's this linebacker, number 7 here. He's going to blitz either off the end or shoot a gap here. I can't remember exactly what he does. But he's going to take a shot on the quarterback. And just as you watch it, just think about, especially a referee, how you would rule on this. The hit's not vicious. I can go ahead and tell you that up front. It's not necessarily malicious. He doesn't lead with the helmet. Hits him a little high, but it's definitely not targeting or sparing or anything like that. But, this day and age, we always are, if we're going to err, we're going to err on the side of safety. So with that in mind, just watch this play and think about whether or not you would rule this, personal foul for unnecessary roughness. In this case, it would be obviously roughing the passer and give him automatic first down. But just as we watch this, we'll watch it a couple times, and it may change your mind the third or fourth time. But so we hit him again. It's a little high, but not necessarily malicious. Didn't drop his head. We'll go back, take a look at it again. Right at the point where he hits him. Again, ball's gone. It's pretty close. It's bang bang if you want to call it, but just think about, do you think that the defender had time to change his course, to put his hands out, to alter what he was doing so that he doesn't lay a punishing hit like he does here on the quarterback? Real time may look different than as we slow it down here. Just watching it a couple times, I believe that he did. He could have pulled up, taken a step to the right, put his hands on him, as opposed to really putting his chest or shoulder or whatever into him like he did. But again, as the game changes, we've always got to err on the side of safety. So we don't get a flag on the ground here, I can tell you that. But, as we look at it, we definitely would have been justified in putting one down here. Again, the kid gets hurt, and I know we don't officiate based off whether or not he gets hurt on the play. But this is exactly what we're trying to get out of the game. We want the coaches, obviously, to help with that, to use your hands. Same thing with blindside blocks. Every time we see him, it's just easy to say, Coach, all he had to do was put his hands out there or something like that. That would have made this a whole lot easier, been a lot less punishing. Again, he does a good job not lowering his head necessarily, but we always want to err on the side of safety. So we'll watch this again, look at the time, and, maybe as you're watching it for the third, fourth, fifth time, whatever it is right here, maybe that changes your mind. Yeah, we definitely would have been justified putting a flag on the ground there for roughing the passer, personal foul, roughing the passer, unnecessary roughness there. So again, as you see these going forward, hits like that, let's get these things out of the game. Got a kid obviously laying here hurt, but so it amplifies everything a little bit more. And things may get chippy after this. If we put a flag on the ground, hopefully we can nip all that in the bud. We don't get chippy. The defensive coach may be mad at us, but again, that's something he's going to have to coach out of the game. So again, always err on the side of player safety. All right, the last play we're going to take a look at, this is just going to be a good example of hurdling. I know we don't get it very often, but we do have some good video on it, and we'll talk about just a little bit hurdling and why it is and why it maybe wouldn't be or whatever. So as we let it play out, we'll take a look at it. We'll get a little play over to the near side here, and you'll see it. It'll be pretty obvious. We get a little man in motion over to the near side here. It's set. Everything's good here. Swing gets here, and track star right there. That is a classic example. We go, we get a flag on the ground there. We go officiate the play. Don't get too excited. Kill it. We know what we got. Remember, we're out of bounds, so that'll be important for starting the clock up after we enforce it. But we talked about it. We got a hurling, and remember, that's just a personal foul. There's no other signal for that. As you'll see the white hat here. Again, just indicate personal foul, hurdling. You say it on the offense, but there's no other signal with that. And again, the enforcement of that is 15 yards. Going to be, in this case, from the spot is a personal foul, and then we'll go from there. And obviously, we're out of bounds, so the clock will start on the snap. But again, another perfect look at it here, and you'll see why there's no doubt. Again, for it to be hurdling, he's got to make the hurdling move that he does, go over a defender, and that defender can't have any part of his body on the ground. You'll see right here, just a bam. He goes right there. Defender's got nothing but his feet on the ground, goes low. And this is exactly why it's a penalty. This could have easily, I mean, he could have caught a helmet to the knee, tore him up, or the defender could have caught and the same thing, a knee to the helmet, shaking him up, or taking a foot to the face mask or something like that. So again, this is just a perfect example. It's a good one to look at on film. So again, if you get this, I know it. It's pretty easy to explain. Coaches should know it at this point. It's been in the rule book for a few years. So cannot do this at the high school level. Bam. I mean, it looks great, looks pretty. Crowd goes crazy, but it is a safety issue. So we need to call it. We can't miss those. In this case, we don't. So again, just something to end on that's a little bit unusual. And see right there, just good crisp signal. Good job. So. All right, well, that does it for our first training video for 2019. I want to thank you guys again for taking the time to watch. Hopefully everybody got a little bit of something out of this that you can discuss pregame, during the week, whatever it is. And we probably won't do this every week, maybe not even every other week, but we will try to get a couple of these training videos out to you throughout the year. And also feel free, if you guys have any plays throughout the year that you've seen or you have on film in your games, let us know. Get with anybody on the training committee. We'll be happy to put them in another future training video. But again, thank you guys and good luck.